All right, we are live for another historic episode of Fireside Chats, sponsored by Travis Matthew Golf Apparel. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We have a very special panel with us tonight. Obviously, Blind Mike with us at the bottom of the screen. How are we doing, Mike?
What's up, buddy? Thank you for having me. You run a tight ship, and I've always respected that about you.
Absolutely. Even when other people try to be program director, you know?
That's right. You stick to your guns. Even
We got to keep it together.
Shove a guest on here. I appreciate it.
And in the top right, we have Penners, the KMS Jeopardy champion. Penners, how are you? Thanks for joining.
I'm great, Freddie. Thanks for having me. Excited to dissect this list and really come to a final product that represents the metaverse.
Absolutely. All right. Well, so just to preface it, this is not going to be an entire episode only exclusively of list talk. There's plenty of other things to get to. I imagine we'll talk about the list until we exhaust all our opinions. For Mike, that might
we could be here a while.
Be several hours. So we'll find out. But so this all really started 2 years ago when Kirk gave his pitch that he wanted a top 50 list of people that made an influence on the history of the show. Year one they tried. Year two was a little bit better. This year we came together and I handpicked this committee, and here we are. So the list came out 2 nights ago via tweet, and they talked about it on the show yesterday, obviously, with Mike and Mama Kay. Mike, what were your initial takeaways of the reaction to the list?
Well, one thing is I saw like tweets and stuff. I'm sure you got them as well, Freddie. That people were like, "Oh, geez, I guess Ellie Schnitt moved up a lot in the last year or whatever." And my main thing was I didn't even look at the old list. The old list it's dead to me. It means nothing. I was creating my own list. I thought that was kind of the assignment we were tasked with here, was creating our top 50 list. Now, over time, of course, things are going to change. Like we didn't know who Rimo was a year ago, things like that. So there's going to be people that move up or down given that. But I didn't consider the last list at all, which people thought it was like a new yearly ranking and you move up or down the board based on your performance. But if that's the case, like Steve wouldn't be on it. You know what I mean? Like, right. There's people that aren't involved in the show anymore that had a major impact.
Exactly. That's a good point. It is an all-time list throughout the history of the show since the show started. And you make a great point. It's a clean slate each year. Start from scratch. Forget about last year's list. It doesn't count. That's what I did last year when I was on the committee. I pretended the first year's list didn't exist because it shouldn't have influenced. Some people were on the list last year that shouldn't have been. Some people have never been on the list that should have been. And that's how it shakes out. Penners, any initial reactions to the overall reaction?
A little bit of confusion on a couple of the ones. Like, I guess they could be answered by what was the algorithm? Was it just simply averaging, or was there a little more to it?
It was averaging, and that's why. So, just a peek behind the curtain, you each submitted your top 50. I had my top 50. So basically, I put 3 lists into an Excel spreadsheet. Now, this is the exciting part. Each person was sort of given a weight based on where they were on each person's list. And it was the average of that, so Kirk's average was 1 because he was 1 on everybody's list. So then that list was just sorted, lowest to highest, and that sort of spit out the top 50. And there were people that some of you had that others didn't have. So we had to rank more than 50. I think we each ranked close to 65 people. I had you throw some people on at the end.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how it came to be. And I will say this. In a perfect world, if we wanted to get it absolutely correct, we would fly people in and have a summit and sit around a conference table and take a day
I've
and
thought
order, and order Buffalo Wild Wings. But, we did the best we could. Last year's process was long and drawn out. We had like 3 or 4 calls. I was on the phone with Ned Snark at 9 a.m. on a Saturday trying to figure out scheduling. This year, I said, let's just do it as quick and easy as we can. Not to cut corners, but I trust both of you enough in your history of the show and your knowledge that whatever you sent in to me was pretty ironclad. So that's why I sort of spit it out that way.
I actually think it kind of worked out because I'm assuming we can make changes tonight, but it worked out because, well, one, we're all here discussing it now. And 2, we got the opinions of, 1, everybody on the show, and 2, like everybody on Twitter over the past 2 days. So we're not just getting the perspectives of us 3, we're getting like the perspectives of the entire universe. So I think it's actually going to work out. Yeah,
like Ted Sellers was just an oversight. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I just totally forgot. I would have easily had him on the list. Yeah.
I do agree. Not one of us had him on our list, so there's no single person to blame. You had Ted?
Yeah.
49. Okay, you did have Ted 49. An oversight. And listen, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. Point them out to me, and I'll admit, if the mistakes are made.
But that's where I think the averaging thing doesn't necessarily work, because like there are people on the list. So the people that I didn't have on my list, you had me rank. But like Kevin the caller, for example, great caller. If we're ranking callers, he's probably up at the top. But I don't have him in my top 50 at all. I don't think I would have any callers on my list. So that's where the averaging gets a little muddy.
It does get wonky. And you had Ellie, you had Guy Geller, you had Erica Nardini, MHB, Rich Kelleher, Stacy from Madawaska, and Linda Marks.
Yeah.
All in your top 50. And Penners and I don't think either of us had any of them.
Yeah. So and I could be talked out of some of those, as I said on the show.
Yeah, same with me. I have some on there that neither of you guys have that I'm okay with letting go. I don't know, Freddie, how you were thinking about going about this, but I think it might be like we go like in chunks of 10, like from 50 to 40, like just read them out, and then like we each like basically nominate people that we want in there, and then if we decide we want somebody in there, then we have to decide who to kick out. But I don't know if you already had a plan on how to attack it.
I don't have a plan for that, so I appreciate the thought. The list is the list. It's done. We're not moving people. This is,
Sorry, Ted. Fuck you.
Oversights happen. Mistakes happen. Oversights happen. We are not changing anything. The list, it's out there. Next year, whoever does it, do a better job. I hope you do. There's always room for improvement. A lot of people did have reaction, and some people made their own lists. Jack Coleman being one of them. Now, Kirk did say he wanted Coleman on the stream tonight, and he got invited on this stream tonight by Mike. Coleman never spoke to me directly and seemed to take offense to that. He tweeted out that apparently he wasn't wanted on the stream tonight. Now, there are reasons for this. First of all, this has been planned out for over a week. You guys put the work in. Just because Jack made his own list doesn't mean he gets to just pop on the show. I like Coleman. Coleman's been invited on this show many times. In fact, let me go to the DMs here. Jack Coleman, 2 weeks ago. About 3.5 weeks ago. Hey, I'm bringing Fireside back. Can I pencil you in for an appearance sometime? Yeah, maybe not too soon. I'm honestly backed up on the show, still listening, a few episodes behind, need time to catch up. Jack was asked on the show. He turned it down, Wow. So he doesn't just get to all of a sudden come on because he got mentioned on the show and he made his own list, which was not great, if you ask me. But thoughts on the Coleman of it all?
I've always said I would have loved to see Coleman. I always enjoy chatting with Coleman, but what I appreciate about you, Freddie, you've always ruled with an iron fist. Clemmer and I, last time I was on here, we tried to have a few laughs, get a few cheers references in. You haven't none of it. And as a leader, I respected that out of you.
I like Coleman. Coleman's a good vibes guy. I would like to have him in here. He would have an interesting perspective.
Hey, don't get us in trouble. We all like Coleman, but we can't tell this dictator.
He would have a perspective that would be wrong, but it would be interesting. It would be good content. So,
and I like Coleman too. He's welcome on here. Not not anytime. There has to be, approval, and there has to be a plan in place.
I don't think I've heard any host say that before. He's welcome on here. Not anytime.
There has to be a plan in place. We like Coleman. Those are real DMs. I'm not going to tweet them out because there's some sanctity to that. But yeah, so there was a lot of controversy on the list. I do think, and Kirk pointed this out, Mike, in terms of gatekeeping,
yeah,
you were the one on the list that had the old school guys the highest. For example,
yeah,
Matt Carano came out at number 21. You had him at 15.
Mhm.
You had Cullen at 22, Jerry at 21. K Marco you had at 11.
yeah.
So you had all those guys higher than any of us had them. So there's a lot of recency bias that goes into these things. You seem to have filtered that out appropriately.
I try to. Maybe I'm being inconsistent with having Dave and Justin above Steve because it's kind of the opposite argument. But to me, a lot of those guys are foundational in the show. Here's how I did it: I said the Tim points: time, impact, and memory.
Yep.
Like the amount of time you spend on the show does matter, which is why I thought Dave and Justin would be higher than Steve in my book. But like the impact, that's why Steve is above so many people, even though he hasn't been on the show consistently in 4 years. Like legitimately, there was a woman, I still think it's pretty crazy, but there's a woman who claimed to have listened to the show that didn't know who Steve was, which is kind of nuts. But,
careful with the crazy word.
No, this is a pro kid show.
Zany, nutty.
Yeah,
I'm going to meet her on Monday, which I'm excited about. So
yeah, I hope that goes great. Yeah,
but you see what I'm saying? Like with Ellie, I really think like that summer of 2020 was a big thing in the foundation of the show, and I'd be surprised if there's new minifans, even if you started listening in the last year or two. I'd be surprised if you didn't go back and find that Gina episode or any of that stuff. So to me, that's why those people were higher in my book, because like with, say, Rimo, and Rimo made my list because I think if you make one of those trips, like if you sit in a car for 40 hours with me and Justin, you belong somewhere on the list. So like to me, Rimo is in, but like in 4 years, will we know references to Rimo, or will we be like, oh yeah, that guy? Like we don't know yet. Right.
Kind of like Bish was like in his first month or so.
Right.
Penners, any takeaways from that with the old school guys? I have some thoughts on that as well, but what do you got?
Yeah. Well, the one Mike just discussed, probably the most controversial one that I think I saw was Ellie Schnitt. I disagree with you guys. I don't think she was the focal point of the entire summer of 2020. Like she had her one big episode and it was huge. Like it's one of the most popular ones. Like if somebody's a new listener, you tell them to go listen to the Gina show.
Yeah.
But I think that whole summer, it was more about Portnoy specifically with like the N-word stuff. And also KFC, JDM, the guy who hated Harry. And K Marco was in there too. Like it was, and Ellie was definitely lumped in with that, but I don't think she was the main driver of show conversation over the course of those months.
That's true.
Yes, that's why I didn't have her on mine. I didn't really take into account the beginning stuff with like the podcast daughter. I didn't really think that had any significance on the show, really.
It didn't really, but to me, it meant it meant she lasted in the zeitgeist for like a year or so. You know,
and she also not, just to push back like one more thing. She's not really like referenced a lot. I don't think, other than like that episode. Yeah, it's not like Jerry. Like Mike, you had Jerry pretty high. I agree. I would actually move Jerry up my list. I had him at 26, but like honestly, like my favorite part of the show is when him and Mutt do Jerry voice and Jerry drops her. Like so, he's literally referenced every single day, every single episode.
Yeah. Jerry to me is definitely high because again, it's not like who you like most or who Kirk thinks most highly of. Like that's why K Marco and Bob Murchison are on the list. You know, like not heroes of the show, but people that had like an impact and are talked about. And to me, it's like people that a minifan should know. Which, as I'm saying that, Ellie's one of the people I mentioned that you could kind of talk me out of being on the list. I would still put her maybe even a little lower than I had her. I think she has a place on there, but there's a lot of people. Same with Shirley Leung. where it's like I think
Yeah,
most minifans know her and she's at Impact, but you could talk me out of having her on there.
Just for the record, Mike, you had Ellie at 30 on your list.
Yeah, I should. That's probably too high.
Yeah, I had Shirley high up, and I at like 30. I had Shirley at 32, and you could talk me out of her on the list completely.
Yeah.
And one more thing on Ellie. So like, if you think about it this way, if you made a top 10 or top 50 list for 2019, for 2020, for 2021, she's probably in the top 15 each of those years, 15 or 20. And part of that is because back then, obviously, there were not rotating third chairs. The show was Kirk, Steve, and Mike, and that was kind of it. So if there was a side character that came in, they just automatically sort of rose the ranks as a topic of conversation or as a influential, figure in the show. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, like Willie Colon would have been on there the first year, and we don't even think of him now, really.
I think 2 years ago, he if he wasn't on the list, he might have been on my list that I made and shared with Pat Ford when he used to listen to the show. So let's see. Oh, so and the Steve question. One thing I will say is that when Mama K was on the show yesterday, she said, "Oh yeah, I had Steve too last year." I wrote in the comments, "No, you're lying. You had Steve 4 last year." And she went to her Google Sheets and she checked, and she had Steve 4 last year. If she had Steve 2 last year, Steve would have been 2 last year instead of Mike.
Wow.
So she bungled it, and then she got the facts wrong, which she admitted to. But
she's known to do that. I don't know if you've heard her games.
Those are rough. We'll get to that. But but so this year I had Steve higher than Justin and Dave. Mike, you had Steve 5th. Penners, you had Steve 5th. Do you stand by Steve at 5?
For me, Mike is 2. That's not. I know Kirk likes Steve at 2. I don't think it's a question. Mike is 2. I think like the longevity. I know Steve's impact, but like I think the longevity actually on the show made me put Justin and Dave ahead of Steve. I'm honestly fine with that. I'm also not going to like fight it too hard. If you want to put Steve at 3 and move Justin and Dave down, like for me, it's more important that the top 5 group is the top 5 and not necessarily their order. Outside of, I'll fight for Mike at 2. Outside of that, you can talk me into whatever you want.
Yeah, literally, the longevity was the only thing that moved Steve down to me. Because, like I said, that 4 years is a long time, and I will say Steve is still around. Like that.
Yeah.
What's the quote? Am I a hero? No, I just hate communism. Like that was less than a year ago, right? Or maybe a year ago.
It was September of 24, so
about a year ago. But so that's not that far away, is what I'm saying. So he's like still been around, but 4 years of not producing the show is a long time. And sometimes he's a little like doesn't always pay attention to the show when he shows up at live shows. So there's a distance there that like Dave was on the show the second month and was already being referenced because of that Dershowitz incident and all that stuff. So pretty much from day one, Dave was being referenced and hasn't really gone away for any long stretch. And Justin, same thing, where he started interning in like October of 19. And I would say maybe that first year he wasn't on a ton. He was like he was referenced and talked about and things like that. But after that, like I think they've both had such an impact. And I put them ahead of me because I think way more, even episodes I'm on, way more often you're walking away from an episode talking about something Dave or Justin said or did than me, I think.
Well, I understand that argument. I think you're also in a tough place because you're trying to be humble. You don't want to pump your.
Yeah, but I put myself above 46 other people or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, we know the top 5 is locked in. The other, let's see, Penners. Any thoughts on that?
No, but can I bring it? I have another one I would like to talk about if that's all right.
Yeah, go.
I think Mutt and Clemmer should be flipped. I think Mutt should be 6, Clemmer should be 7. they've basically taken the same path. They both used KMS as a launching pad to get the Barstool. Mutt's lore has been on the show longer. I mean, Kirk's been talking about him since like the first episode, basically, because Mutt was an EEI guy with him. And in terms of being on the show, Mutt has been on there for over twice the amount of time Clemmer has. And in my opinion, he's funnier on the show. Clemmer struggles to take a joke, but
that's part of Clemmer's charm, though.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think longevity is there, and they're at the same point in their career. And I think both longevity on the show and in terms of lore, like before he actually got the show, Mutt was there. So what do you guys think about that?
I think I understand where you're coming from. I think the argument to that could be that. So yes, Mutt was talked about for longer. Clemmer started going on the show earlier and has been there ever since as a presence on the show. And he so when Carabas left Barstool, Clemmer was the guy that stepped in as the third chair every Friday for I don't know the length.
It was like a year.
About a year
and a half. So I do get what you're saying. I think.
I mean, Mutt's been on there for like over 2 years, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
I think getting close to 3, right?
Yeah, for sure. It was like December, but I don't think he was on it as regularly in the beginning, but I would say regularly, like at least 2 years.
Yeah, and I think that's a good argument that he was always referenced. Like he kind of always was part of the show, because I remember being in Red 13 making fun of Mutt and Callahan or something.
Yeah,
not necessarily every day, but like here and there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could also say that the first 3 years of the show, Mutt was probably referenced less than someone like Dale Arnold, who at that point was just another former coworker of Kirk.
True. But I think Penner's point is like he was referenced from essentially day one and now has as big an impact as Clemmer, if not bigger. So like you can look at that as kind of an averaging out of the time that Mutt wasn't on the show that Clemmer was.
It's a good point. When I think of KMS and who's more associated with it, I think of Clemmer more than Mutt, I guess.
I do too. But maybe that's because I knew Mutt from EEI or so, you know what I mean? Like maybe I have that stuck in my head somewhere. But like I do think of Clemmer, like Clemmer was on Mike and the Minifans. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I think of him as like a more of a KMS guy, whereas Mutt is a guy. It feels like Mutt is a guy that came in later, even though as we're talking about it, he wasn't that much later.
And we are splitting hairs here because like Mutt was ranked 9th, 8th, and 6th by the three of us. Clemmer was ranked 6th, 6th, and 7th by the three of us. So they're both very close. They're obviously both top 10. So splitting hairs at some point. But at some point, decisions have to be made.
Sure. This is the tough stuff. This is why they pay us the big bucks.
Yes. Who ranked Mutt 6th? Derek from the chat is asking. Penner's had Mutt ranked 6th. There's your answer. So when we talk about recency bias, there's a lot of talk about people on the basketball team making it. So again, if you look at each year that's happened individually and try to define those years, I think 2025 in terms of KMS was sort of defined by a little bit of Laconia, a new location for a first-time live show. Mm-hmm. But the basketball team sort of loomed over for 8 months of the year. And it had to do with the whole cinema,
Sure.
being a part of everything, the rematch with the New York team. So I think being a part of the basketball team did elevate a lot of people. Last year,
John and Warren being on the list is ridiculous in my opinion. I didn't have him on there.
I don't think I did either.
Mike didn't have him on there either. He hit the big shot, but literally outside of the big shot, what does he do? Like he's kind of he's a nice guy, but in studio, I think he's kind of a zero.
Well, I said that's their thing is being the drips. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, I think Pat Ford was at the end of my list because he originally, and I think I replaced him with Rimo maybe or Linda Marks, but Pat Ford is talked about a lot more. He's got this wacky personality, and he's in spaces all the time, and people think he's fucked up. No one knows what he's doing. So like Pat Ford has this persona that you could say people talk about that I think would qualify him more for the end of the list. John and Warren is just kind of like a regular guy. Like he was on the basketball team, he's around. But to me, John and Warren is like someone, I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but like a regular minifan, like Mama K, the same reason Mama K wasn't on my list.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like good minifan around. I'm sure there's some stories, like episodes they were on that were memorable, but not the same as like Kevin from Bristol, say.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. So a couple things. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'll preface this again with how much we like someone has nothing to do with where they're placed on this list. I like John and Warren a lot.
I've said that.
I could be talked out of having him on the list.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
That's why like if it was guys I like, Bobby Costa's right at the top. But to me, I don't think he comes close.
I put Bobby on strictly the song at the end of every show, which I can also be talked out of because originally I just thought like he's a part of every single show for like over a year now. Then I think that might be that's worthy. But again, this is up for debate. I would, if it were up to me, I would like to go through like literally spot by spot and dissect this for like 3 hours. But, we'll schedule some time, Mike. But yeah, we don't have
you mentioned, did you hear Kirk say that like him and Will Compton text every 2 weeks about surviving?
Oh yeah,
It'll be me and Penners doing it about.
I've been obsessed over this. Freddie, can we talk about one more thing real quick? Can we talk about number 50? Because I loved Mike's analysis of nipples at number 50 on the show. He's like the doorman, like welcoming you into the list. I thought it was so great. My idea for 50, I didn't put this on my list, but I thought of it afterwards. I thought Freddie's birdies, because I feel like he would be disgusted by this conversation. He would hate the fact that he was even mentioned in the same ilk as the list.
I'll tell you this, Freddie's birdies is a guy that is not on my list, and I didn't really think of him as being close. But having said that, we do this again in a year or two, I could see him being like a clear guy. We all have him on,
I have him towards the end, but he's a good rising third chair consistent. But I would for 50, I would vote for Nipples.
Yeah, that's not and 50 is sort of symbolic. It's like a tent pole spot where welcome into the list. I do agree with you. There were, like you mentioned, a lot of people that a year from now maybe he's an easy number 43 or whatever. Like there were people that dropped off the list that were on it last year. Don the Jeweler, Shark Minahan, Nipples was on the list last year. Ziggy Robinson. So that there's certainly a point to be made for that.
Oh, can I talk about my guy? Can I talk about my guy Jimmy real quick?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was your suggestion.
Yeah. I was very passionate about Jimmy. For about 6 months, this guy was like the main driver of show conversation. Every new episode, there was a new clip or a new article, whatever, something stupid fucking Coleman did. And it took up a good chunk of the show, making Coleman just defend all his dumb actions. But not only, this guy was like runaway for Minifan of the Year, odds-on favorite, just a generational run. We would have never seen that again, but Coleman quitting and he ended up useless. He was a 0 before then. He was a 0 after then, which is a big reason why you guys probably never even thought of this guy. And when Mike mentioned Jimmy on the show, and everyone's like, who the hell is Jimmy? Because nobody remembers him. But he had a huge impact, and he basically started KMS basketball. Without him, I don't know if we get any of it. I don't know if we get the cinema game. I don't know if we get Josh and James. And I'm trying to think if that's just his lasting impact. So in Mike's 10 points, that counts as impact, like all the way through basketball. That all counts as impact for Jimmy, in my opinion.
That's again to me a guy though. If we're ranking Twitter accounts, like great Twitter accounts, I'd have like Ziggy Robinson, Mikey Grabbags, Jimmy, like guys like that would be on there.
For sure.
But the fact that like I mentioned him and no one knows who it is really, you know what I mean? Like I think you could realistically listen to all those episodes. I know he was discussed as like Minifan of the Year and stuff, but you could listen to the episodes you're talking about where they played Coleman's sound without knowing who tweeted that or whatever. Like if you're not on Twitter, you wouldn't necessarily know that.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the driving show conversation, show perspective, but what you're saying makes sense for sure.
And that all good points. I think it also, you get into a tough spot when you start saying, if it weren't for so-and-so, then none of this would have happened. Okay. If it weren't for Kirk's grandfather's grandfather's grandfather, then none of this would have happened. Like, there's a
Sure, but this was still on the show. Like, this was still on the show. I don't think that
True.
argument. I agree with that argument. Like, Bruce Springsteen, get the fuck out of here. Peter Minahan, get out of here. But I actually thought you could. Actually, think
Peter Minahan, I think there's a legitimate argument for, because there's so many stories about him and stuff like that. But
I think you can make a slightly better case for Harry Minahan because he's been on the show a few times. Always got laughs. He kills every time he's on. It's been on like 3 times.
Yeah.
I have a great Harry clip. I'm gonna tweet it out later tonight. And Kirk also references him and like tells stupid stories, like when he spilled hot coffee on the local place, like shit like that.
I mean, well, even now, the idea that he's like a ladies' man now.
Yeah,
like,
There's
exactly. Like Menners hated him at a time. Like there have been storylines.
He had a feud with JDM.
Hand job Harry.
That's right.
I had another point on that, but I forgot it, so I'll come back to it. But someone did mention Kevin from Bristol earlier. Someone on the show yesterday, it might have been Mama K, I forget, but they compared Kevin from Bristol to Steve from Gloucester, saying that they were about equal. And I thought that was a horrible take for the simple fact of Kevin's longevity. So, yes, he's only been on the show technically for the last year.
Yeah.
He got invited on the show actually after he appeared on this program. So you're welcome, everybody. But Steve's been around for 2 years. Kevin's been a caller since day one. So like when I think of Kevin's legacy, it's not him as a third chair. I think of the mechanic call.
Yeah, you know what? I forget who said that, but I know I agreed with it. I was like, oh, that's about the right range. And when I was going to argue with you when you brought it up. And as you were saying that, I'm thinking of, do you remember when he sent Kirk a message where he's if you have the Minifan Hall of Fame, I just want to be up there with those guys.
It would mean a lot to me.
It would mean a lot.
It would mean a lot to be up there with those guys. Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Kevin is definitely higher than Steve from Gloucester. I don't know how much higher, but now like he was on the basketball team, and now he's I guess if you're going on the last year or two, he's the same as Steve from Gloucester. But you're right. He has been around. I was thinking like, he was just on like YouTube shows, but no, he was calling in a lot. He did good song parodies, a bunch of stuff.
And when he wrote that note to Kirk, that was a storyline for weeks about wanting to be in the inaugural class of the Minifan Hall of Fame.
He had a freak out on Justin where he was like, "Fuck you!" Like we've never seen him like that before.
Just Ducky,
yeah. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So and that's why you guys are here, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything that we want to dig into more on the list, or do we want to put a bow on this topic and move along, because we have a lot to get to?
It's up to you.
Totally up to you. I don't have too much. I don't have too much more. I mean, I have plenty more on it if you want to go point by point with me, but I don't have any glaring things I need to get to.
Correct.
We covered Jimmy. We covered. There wasn't anyone else.
Oh,
crazy.
I would just say Coleman and Gus to me belong close to, if not in, the top 10.
Yes, that's fair. I think that's a fair argument. Were there any of the lower guys that you wanted to fight for, like Rich Kelleher or
no? Kelleher was stupid of me. I shouldn't have had him on the list. The more I was thinking about it, I would have taken him off the list. MHB I would fight for because I think he had lasting impact for a while and was even referenced like earlier this year. I think he was like tweeting about the show. Like he pops up every once in a while. That's a name I still think people would know. MHB would be one, and Linda Marks is another. Probably more so actually. Linda Marks, I think every year has had a song that's been a focus of an episode. So Linda Marks, I would probably fight for as well.
Yeah, I think as the years have gone along, her songs have become less a topic. Like when a new song comes out from her, they'll talk about it for 5 minutes. Whereas 4 years ago, they would talk about it for an entire episode.
Sure.
Yeah. I kind of want to fight a little bit for Kane. I mean, he's an absolute lunatic, and nobody in the universe really likes him. But he has I have Kane's resume here. There's a lot of stuff that Kane's done. I mean, the doxing wars, Donna Jewelers, posting kids, posting naked pictures of his ex-wife, the roller skating, which we just found out when he wore the Hanes crew socks. When he wore the white Hanes crew socks with the business shoes, that was great. The huge fight, the big blowout he had with Mick about tipping waiters, whether or not they should be taxed. when he went to Cinema's house for the funeral, when he commented on his show about the toilet in Cinema's basement, following Mutt's kids, and when he was drunk at the movie theater, the Dozen movie theater event when you guys were there, and he got wasted and had to have his girlfriend again. So
I'd say with Kane, similar. I mean, in a different way, but similar to what I said about Freddy's Birdies, where in a year or two, I could see him definitely being on. It just depends on the route he takes, I guess.
Yeah, he just had a lot of moments that stuck out to me. So, yeah. Other than that, I mean, me and Mike could talk about this for fucking days. So we'll move on.
Yeah,
I could too, but we got to keep it on the tracks at some point. Do you, Penners? How many resumes of different people that didn't make the list do you have?
I did this yesterday morning. all just from my head.
Mike, you couldn't see it, but he held up a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, handwritten with about size 2 font. And there's no white space on the page.
There's no white space.
I like this. That's how you get to the level of KMS Jeopardy champion.
Absolutely.
Did you beat Warthog in that, by the way?
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't know. I think I played in the finals.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
So, Mike, parody callers, parody songs, song makers. You had something against them being on the list. For me, some of those songs, like Warden of the North, just his Dale Arnold song alone about nobody's watching me. To me, that is a core KMS memory that, for me, he'll just always be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a great. And he had a couple other. He's very good at that. But again, my thing was more people listening to that. There are people that could listen to that episode and not know who made that song, even though your takeaway is that song. Sure. There are technically people that could not even know who that was by or whatever. Steve's a Liar guy to me is different. His voice was very distinct. He was kind of the first consistent one. And also, like, I had him up on the list kind of as a representative of the song parody guys. Like Carano, I considered a different category, sort of.
Yeah.
So Steve's a Liar guy to me was kind of my representative of song parody guys.
Yeah, that's good. You thought about it from a completely different perspective. I didn't, but everything you're saying sounds good. I like it. Freddie, somebody in the comments said you look like a young, drunker John Dennis. Do you agree with that?
I think they said the same thing in the comments last week.
Oh, did they? My apologies.
Sure. Dino's a good-looking guy. I'll take it. Whatever.
Drunker is difficult. I had a buddy that worked security at Fenway that used the phrase "homeless person drunk" when he had to deal with John Dennis once. So.
Listen, we've all been legless once or twice, here and there.
Absolutely.
So college. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's take a quick pivot. We're gonna get to Bitches Week. There's a lot to get to. Before we do that, we're almost 40 minutes into the show.
Oh my god!
This is the latest we've ever done trivia, but we are going to do trivia. Now, this was a tough assignment because we've got 2 hawks on the screen. Probably 2 of the top 5 KMS historians out there, if I had to guess.
Wow.
So congrats to both of you for earning that high praise from me.
Thank you.
I have 3 questions. I am going to read it, and if you think you know the answer, say, "I've got it," and then I'll call on you.
Okay.
And we will see how it goes. So we tried to get some hard ones here.
I'm rusty. I haven't listened to old stuff in a while.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, first question. Which former KMS intern tweeted out a link to a platform to listen to all old KMS episodes? And this former KMS intern still has this tweet pinned to the top of his profile today.
I got it. Unless Mike has it too. Mike.
I know who it. I'm guessing who it has to be, but I don't know for sure. No.
Penners, you chimed in first. What do you got?
It's Tim Fax.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
I would have gotten
correct.
that.
Mike, who are you thinking?
I was hoping it was intern Will, which would have been very
That would have been very funny.
Yeah, that would have been great.
It is Timothy Fax. Good job by him getting that out there. Just a quick side note on some statistics to that tweet. It's pinned to the top of his profile. It has 4,500 views and 17 bookmarks.
Nice.
Just for some context, Don the Jeweler tweeted out the other day a GIF of Lauren Conlon licking her lips while she was in the studio. That tweet has 275,000 views.
Wow.
And 148 bookmarks.
Listen, Don the Jeweler knows how to work the algorithm. That's not really a fair comparison.
Just for some statistical context on where the minifans' heads are at.
I won't argue with that. I think those are justified views.
All right, we've got 1-0 Penners. Okay, this one's a tough one. What was the golf course that Kirk threw all of his clubs into the marsh one by one and walked off the course and ended his round?
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know.
It was in the state of Maine.
Okay. I was going to say, can I guess the state? And I would have said Maine, but I just don't know golf courses, so I'm not going to get this.
I don't know. Kennebunkport Country Club.
So that's a good guess. It is in the Kennebunkport area. It is a Cape Arundel Golf Club.
Oh yeah.
I should have known that. They've mentioned that before.
Yeah, good one, Freddie. Good one.
Cape Arundel Golf Club, and nobody got that one. Nobody in the chat got that one. So I that was a hard question.
It was.
All right. The question is a close guess question. The Jim Thome episodes where obviously Coleman was asked to name the top 10 home run hitters of all time in the history of Major League Baseball. And it took him a long time to get to Jim Thome, who he actually said Thome. So neither here nor there. The question is this. The episode was on the audio feed and broken into 7 different parts. You will each get to answer. What was the total cumulative running time for all 7 of those parts? So I'll let you think about it for a minute, but the question is, how long from start to finish did that feed run? Basically from when they started the initial beginning of the episode until Coleman finally got Jim Thome.
And you're including the entire episode before the Thome conversation, right? Like the 2 hours or whatever it was before that.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you...
I believe I have an answer.
Mike, what do you got?
I believe it was 37 hours.
37 hours. Okay, Penners, where do you land on this?
I was going to say like 24.
24 hours. All right, so the answer is in between what both of you said, so you're going to make me do some math. But Mike is easily closer. The answer is 33 hours and 14 minutes.
Okay.
So Mike was off by 4 hours and Penners was off by 9 hours.
Did they not stop? I think they stopped filming while they were sleeping, right? But I guess it wasn't for as long as I thought.
There were long stretches of silence, but it was all on the audio feed. They never stopped. I mean, I think they had to maybe reset the YouTube feed once or twice.
Yeah, I think you could only go for 12 hours at that time. I think that might have changed on YouTube, but yeah, every 12 hours they had to change. So,
all right. Like I said, 2 Hawks. We finish in a 1-1 tie. I don't have a tiebreaker. You guys are too good. I'll let you, when you guys are, on this stream 7 hours from now, I'll let you figure out your own tiebreaker when you're still discussing the list.
All right, fair deal.
So we move on. Bitches Week. How do you guys think it's going? There's been some good ones, some new faces. Well, only 2 new faces really so far. Kelly Keegs today and Lauren Conlon on Monday. So any initial thoughts before we get into any specifics of it?
I think it's, I was going to say oddly, but I guess you could have kind of expected this to a degree. It's like any other week. You know what I mean? Like, I think Lauren Conlon and Kelly both are people that could have been, like, if Kirk was in New York, Kelly easily could have been on and it would have been a good episode. And same with Lauren Conlon if she just asked to come on. So I haven't really noticed a difference. Like, if you showed me these episodes in any other week or month, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck are they doing? Boy, the show's really changed. You know, like, to me, they've seemed like more or less any other episodes, and which means both those girls fit the show well.
Yes.
I completely agree.
All right. We're going to do a tiebreaker because Jack Coleman is in the comments complaining. No tiebreaker.
Let's go, Coleman.
He's in your head, Freddie.
So I just thought of this on the spot.
Okay.
Be quick. If you got it, tell me you got it.
Okay.
What was the name of the basketball league that Coleman played in that led to all the basketball?
The SAC League.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn it.
Mike, I'm sure you had it too.
I tip my cap to you.
No. Mike definitely had that one.
All right. Penners wins. There you go. There's your tiebreaker, Jack. The SAC League for the playing at the end of a cul-de-sac. So that's why it was in the SAC.
Coleman's the greatest, man.
He really is.
I had him too low. He's good.
You know what? Coleman, we'll put him in the top 10. All right. All right. Yeah. So I thought Lauren was great. I think anytime someone's first timer, they're probably a little bit nervous, but she's a professional. She's a broadcaster. She's a podcaster. She's in front of a microphone and a camera every day. So I thought she did great. Penner's thoughts on how Lauren did on Monday?
Yeah, I thought she was great. She just, like Mike said, she just fit right in. A couple things also. I think I might actually point this out on the show. Where like Kirk would make a joke and she would be like laugh like crazy out loud as if like it's new to her. But I get that. I think it's also just like a female reaction.
It wasn't even the laugh so much. It was like the you just said what?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, you must have heard him say this on any other episode.
I also loved at the end of the episode, Kirk's like, come back anytime. And she's like, oh, wait, really? And Kirk's like, does it matter?
Also, with her reactions and her body language and her laughing, I think that's just how she is normally. I've seen her on other streams.
Okay.
That's just her personality. I don't think it was some, act to be bubbly in front of Kirk. That's just how she is.
Great story about the strip club. Nobody really quite knows what's going on there, but that's the mark of a good guest. That like when everybody when you bring something up and everybody stops and is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" That's a sign of a good appearance or a good story that you're about to tell. So yeah, I really enjoyed her performance.
Yeah. And I was surprised how well Kelly fit in also, because like you can tell obviously she doesn't listen to the show. But she managed to fit in all the conversation. She didn't stop everything to be like, wait, what's that? What do you mean? Explain that. Like, she just kind of naturally fit in pretty well, even though she didn't fully get every single conversation.
Yeah, she vibes with Kirk. Yeah, go ahead, Freddie.
Go ahead.
She vibes with Kirk really well. Like, Kirk's like a low key, like feminine. Like he knows all the celebrity stuff. He knows all the drama. So like him and Kelly get along well. So the conversation flows smoothly.
You can tell they gossip about whoever in the office.
Oh yeah, very, very much so. And same thing with Kelly as with Lauren. She's in front of a microphone every day. She knows what she's doing. But the thing, like, you can't fake the rapport that she has with Kirk. Obviously, they've known each other for years, and they get along enough where they can make a good show. And like you said, Mike, she can get into the topics. It was funny. Lauren was on her phone and they're like, well, why are you on your phone? She's like, I was looking up football players and I found Drew Bledsoe.
I mean, that's crazy. But like in a different way, you could see Montante saying that about a different subject. You know what I mean? Like, it fit well.
Yes. I thought Justin texting with Kelly on the side about Taylor Swift. What a phony Justin is. 2 years ago, when they were making fun of Kelly Keegs,
Yes.
Justin was exactly, yes, Kirk, she's this, she's that, she's a.
Oh,
now
I didn't even mean that, Freddie. I thought we were on the same wavelength here. Yeah, there's a man in the chat right now who was mocked for messaging Kelly Keegs, and I'm certain I didn't go back and listen to make sure, but I'm certain Justin was leading the charge of like, oh, this fucking pussy, and he's like, did you hear the new album? I was shocked when I heard that.
Now this goes to Kirk's argument: is this post girlfriend Justin? Would he be doing this if there was not a girlfriend in the picture?
Or is it thinking about the next girlfriend, Justin? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
maybe he's laying the groundwork.
That's a good point.
I think it's more Justin just saw that Kirk started to have a good relationship with her and saw an opening for him to get in contact with her about Taylor Swift. I don't think it was anything more than Justin just like, I want to nerd out. Like basically like me and Mike here about this list. Like Justin just wants to nerd out about Taylor Swift with somebody. Yeah. I actually think it's probably pre-girlfriend because if it like now that he has his girlfriend, they can just bitch about it together. But I think he probably got in contact with Kelly before he started dating this girl.
Yeah, and he's definitely reading like Kirk's friendly with her. It's okay now versus if she was an enemy, I don't think he'd be doing it. But it is similar to if he were texting with Jeff D. Lowe about Star Wars.
Well, I think he does do that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. So I suppose it was just surprising to hear. I guess there's an element of like, oh, he's texting a girl, so we're all. So yeah, you're right. It's if Jeff was like, oh, Justin texted me this about Star Wars, none of us would be shocked by it. But it did seem weird. I actually sometimes I know Kirk is just like busting Justin's balls or whatever, but I 100% agreed with him when he's like, that's odd that you've never mentioned that.
Well, it's texting a girl, but it's texting a girl about very girly things.
Right.
Like
and a coworker.
There's nothing girlier than Taylor Swift gossip.
Yeah, and it's surprising too because Jeff like calls into the show and interacts with the show a lot. This is Kelly is someone that like, I mean, she's been talked about on the show and stuff. But I was surprised Justin even knew her. Never mind, like has a friendship with her.
Yes, that is interesting because she's never been on the show before. She's been talked about on the show, but she's not a, KMS figure, I guess.
Right.
Interesting breaking news about Kelly Keegs. I'm not here to give gossip about the horny chat, who's in it, who's not in it, what people are saying, but I will say this. Kelly Keegs was added to the horny chat today.
Wow.
She's lasted longer than when Mutt was added.
I'm sure she lasted longer than me.
She's lasted longer than when Blind Mike was added.
Yeah.
And she did make a statement in the horny chat, and I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I will say she used the words, "I'm never leaving."
Wow. Well, good for her.
I think minifan for life, I think, is what she said.
Wow. Sounds like you guys are getting some free OnlyFans passwords.
Well, I have some sources on that. That thing is fucking legit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good for Kelly.
We have to talk to Jackson from Australia about that.
Hey, yeah, I was going to say, good for you boys. I'm sure you'll be on there.
So Kelly was great. Lauren was great. Mama K, like, I don't think that's even in the bitches week conversation. She's just a normal third chair. No disrespect. But we do have Nurse Kim tomorrow. So any expectations, any thoughts, whether it's has to do with the drama or without the drama, where are you guys at on Nurse Kim?
It seemed contentious. I know Kirk has taken jabs at her a few times, and I don't know a lot about Nurse Kim's online activity. I didn't realize. I think Dave was saying she has like a big YouTube channel or something. I didn't realize any of that. So I don't know enough about her to give you a great prediction, but mine is my mediocre prediction is that she'll come in. It might be contentious for a minute and she'll be kind of, playful and it'll all die down. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, but we'll see.
So yeah. I used to hang out in the spaces quite a bit. I don't really do that much anymore, and I would rarely talk. But the one time I did talk in spaces, it was to suggest that Nurse Kim goes on the show. She can bust balls with the best of them. I think she's gonna be great. If she's like local, if Kirk likes her, if she's able to come in, she could easily become like somebody who can be in by herself. She can talk, man. Like she will keep going. There's gonna be no shortage of conversation when she's in there.
I thought she was like Cullinane's friend that did.
So she's
TikTok
like
stuff with him.
She's a Karen Reed girl, like, and so she has a big following just from all the psychos that are obsessed with that case. And of course Dave was also, so like I don't know, they just intersected somehow, and they were doing TikTok lives together, so that's how they know each other.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mike, to your point, I like Nurse Kim a lot. Kirk has called her names on the show ever since she's been in the world through Cullinane, which is it's whatever. I met her in Saco. She's a very nice person. She's gonna do great. She does have her YouTube channel. I want to say has like 20,000 subscribers, something like that. So she did start with the true crime reporting, and the biggest thing that she covered obviously was the Karen Reed trial. And I think that's where a lot of her followers came from, and they love her. They are very loyal, and I think she's going to be great on the show. And I think her and Montante are a very good pairing.
Okay, I'll be interested. I don't know anything about her other than the lore that Cullinane has brought up.
Yeah, no, I think they are like actually friends, and they sort of met through that Karen Reed coverage.
Right.
I don't do TikTok, so I don't know much about that side of it, but she's definitely a established figure. So she's another one of these bitches that is a pro in front of a microphone, pro in front of a camera. She goes live all the time on her YouTube feed, so I have no doubt that
is she someone that's going to come in and try and like you listen here, Kirk, I'll tell you what's what, because that's the one way I see it not working.
No, that's not her style. From what I understand, that's not her style. She and Menner said it. She's nervous to go on the show because she's only been listening for 2 years. She doesn't want to come off as not a fan, right? So
from my recollection in Spaces, she seems to know every fucking inside joke from the current time. So I think like from when she's listening, I think she's really into it.
I mean, 2 years is a long time. How many references are they going to do to 2022?
Yeah.
Right, and she has been great in Spaces for most of this year. She's in there here and there. I've seen her once or twice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Any final sort of bitches week thoughts? I have a few more nuggets we can get to. I don't want to keep everyone all night, but anything to put a bow on bitches week.
I was excited to get to be a part of it. That was nice. But no, nothing too crazy. I guess the most bitches week thing that came out of bitches week didn't really happen on air. It was all that stuff that they were talking about at the beginning of Monday's show that was very confusing. That involved Maureen, who didn't show up, and so that was like the real bitches week drama that never actually happened. The rest of it was just kind of like just regular good shows.
Well, the person at the center of that, Caitlin, the caller, is, I believe, still scheduled to go in on Monday. Now, she's been tweeting a lot this week, and it sometimes is hard to follow all of it. But I think she'll be on Monday, so I think we could stay tuned, and maybe that'll come to fruition.
All right. I'm sure it'll all make sense to me when I'm sitting there on Monday. And I definitely won't be sitting there alone. There will be someone next to me. Definitely.
Yes. A completely everyone in the studio that day will be completely sane.
Good.
So, let's see. Okay, I have to get to this. Kirk asking the producers the other day, what is the date for Laconia? Now, not only did they have a blank stare on their face Presumably, these are the guys that booked Laconia.
Yeah.
Presumably, they should know it off the top of their heads. But Justin took 27 seconds. I timed it to answer, and his first answer was wrong. And he was off by 3 weeks. And then after that, 20 seconds later, 47 seconds into the question, Dave had a guess, which was also wrong.
How do you not just start rattling off Saturdays? You're 28th, 21st, 14th.
And Kirk knew the whole time what the actual date was, but he wanted them to say it because they're the ones that booked it. So what is this? What are we? Talk me off the edge. What's going on here?
I don't know because they never explained what was taking them so long. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm weird with dates and stuff like that, so it's even more far gone for me. Like it would just like lock into my brain. But I don't know what they were looking for. That's what I would have liked them to walk through is like what they were looking at. If they were just hoping the computer exploded so they would have something else to talk about. Like, I don't know what they were looking at during that time, but that was weird.
It seems to me a very simple, last year was March 1st and this year is March 7th. And so we know it's the same, like we know it's the same week, but it's the next week and it's a Saturday. It's Penners, what were you thinking when that happened?
Sort of along the same lines, but I tend to be a little easier on the producers. Justin was bitching at Kirk that one weekend he went to play blackjack after he was sick, and the live show turned out fine. He was being like all cunty, like not talking to him during the show, and Justin did a great job on the show. So you're never gonna prevent them from doing a bad job by probing them with the stuff. Like, how many times did he ask Dave, like, is the screen ready? Is the projector ready? Is the soda ready? Is all the stuff ready? And it was all fucked up. So like he can like check for updates all he wants, and it's never gonna change the final product. And then same with Justin. Like I said with the casino, he was yelling at for going to the casino, and Justin ended up doing a great job. So I think you just gotta like see if they do the job or not. And if they're not, like, be prepared for hell. Like he's gonna bring it. And if they do the job, then you don't have wasted all that energy.
Yeah, I do think Justin cares about that stuff and everything, but it was just funny to hear. Like, why wouldn't they just start guessing weeks? It was weird that it was utter silence because I couldn't see what was happening. I was just like, I was checking my phone to make sure it was still on. I was like, what's going on?
And it was a week after Kirk asked them what they had done for the 4 days off, and they did another blank stare for 60 seconds with no answers. We talked to Barstool about the Black Friday shirt. Like, okay. So I'll say this. Kirk was actually mad about their reaction to the live show date. He was in Spaces Wednesday night, and I said, Kirk, you seem mad about this. I'm going to talk about this for 40 minutes on my show this week. And he said, I hope you're not kidding because I'm fucking pissed about this.
Yeah.
So he was fired up. I mean, I think he got over it, or we'll see. But he definitely was not happy with that reaction.
I will say, as a Justin defender, a long-time Justin defender, and I say this as a way of like a message to Justin. I am the one thing I'm always surprised about when Kirk does stuff like that, where he says like, "Oh, Justin used to do like drive to Delaware or do whatever like that type of stuff," and he doesn't do that anymore. I'm surprised Justin doesn't just do it that day, and maybe that would be too transparent, and that's why he doesn't want to do it to look like it's. Yeah. I'm just doing it because I got called out for it, and then I'm not going to do it again. But I'm always surprised, like when Kirk specifically says stuff like that, that Justin doesn't just go do it.
Yeah.
I agree, but I do think it's what you're saying. Basically, is like also Kirk knows what he's doing. Like he's calling him out, but then also at the same time preventing him from doing it at that very day because
yeah. And it is difficult. Not every day warrants. I don't even remember what inspired the Delaware trip.
Oh,
I know
it was.
we called that Subway, right?
It was trying to figure out if it was Italian herb and cheese or Italian herbs.
Yeah. That's right.
So Justin took it into his own because originally that's when Gus was the producer with Coleman, and he said, Gus, you need to go to 10 Subways today and ask them. And of course, Gus couldn't get out of his own way, so he didn't do it.
Right.
And the next day is when Justin made that trip.
Yeah. So not every day lends itself to an idea like that. You're not that's not how most people are wired. Like, you're not going to have an idea like that after every episode. So that's where it does get difficult too. So like, that's where I'm being a little unfair in saying like he should have just done it that day. But you know what I mean? Like, when that comes up, I'm surprised it hasn't inspired him to just do something to be like, see, I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, and I'll say, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I really do think it's like the girlfriend, not from the perspective of like Justin's become a pussy or something, but like he is a human being. He now has to spend his free time thinking about like making plans for this girl, like buying stuff for her, like their relationship, their future, like things that they've said in conversation. Like in his free time, that's where his brain's going instead of just pure KMS. Like, what kind of crazy shit can I do that's going to be funny for the show? And I'm not saying like he's not allowed, like he's a human being. He's allowed to have a full life. And I know Kirk didn't want to hire somebody with a girlfriend, but you know, that's how life works. People get girlfriends. But I do actually think that that's like a big reason. And it's not even really like Justin's fault. It's just life.
Yeah. I was surprised. I've never been of that mind, but I was surprised when Justin was like, I might not be able to do Project Big Screen. there's a Pokemon birthday party, which it's a funny Justin moment. Yeah. I don't know if Kirk was upset or cared about that or whatever, but I was just surprised when I heard him say it, like the idea that would come even as a thought of possibly not being able to do the podcast.
Well, there are parallels to that and a younger Blind Mike saying, yes. I don't know if I can go to Florida because I have to look for apartments.
Right.
Thank you. That's like my.
To be fair, I did ask if I could go a day later. It wouldn't have changed anything, but I see your point. Yes.
So there are parallels to be made, and I do have an eye for consistency. I see you, Derek, in the chat. Just one note that literally doesn't matter at all, but Justin this week described his order at Subway, the Justin, and he got it wrong. He did not say the original order. He said it was a foot long. Very, very clearly last year, 2 years ago, when he did the Justin, 6 inches white. They played it on the show a million times because it's a funny 6 inches white.
It was part of the song.
And then he added extra toppings that weren't on the original Justin, just for the record.
Oh my god,
that's great journalism. Yeah.
And does it matter?
This changes everything.
Does anyone care? Matter. Does anyone care? No.
I do.
I
don't know who this guy is anymore.
Yeah.
I was at the Delaware show. I got the Justin from Subway. I have my receipts somewhere. Maybe one day I'll find it and give it to Tim in Canton for the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
That's for the museum.
Yeah.
So anyway, journalism lives. One last thing, we're not going to bang on the producers all night, but I thought it was weird that Dave was proud that Lauren Conlon did this whole pitch about a case and Dave never got back to her. And he was kind of like, yeah, what do you mean? I didn't get back to you. Like, what's the big deal? Like, kind of an inconsiderate prick move and something that was weird to be proud of.
I don't remember taking it that way when I was listening.
Fair.
I kind of agreed with you, Freddie. Yeah, I thought it was low key. I mean, it's Dave. He phrases things all the time, like strangely. But yeah, it sounded like a low key cunty thing. And he also like just a little history. Like people would DM him to come into the show, and he wouldn't respond. And then they would have their girlfriend DM him, and he would respond immediately to get them into the show.
I'm sure that's not true.
Exactly. That's exactly true.
I think it was that guy Lord Kevin specifically who said it. But yeah, like there is a bit of a history with that with Dave. Even though he's kind of like harmless, like at the end of the day, who cares? It's just Dave being Dave.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Mike, why are you laughing?
That's good stuff.
No, I'm not surprised by that. I'll say that. That sounds like Dave.
I have to see if Alba's been texting him. I'm in twice next week. I have to see what's going on there.
Maybe Nipples was involved. All right. So Gus on the Disney trip, right? He's on day 13 or something like that. Just as a matter of correction, and I either dreamed this or I heard Gus say it in the spaces this week. There's a relative on his wife's side of the family that is foreign, like they live in Europe or something, and they got these like crazy good prices from Disney because they're trying to encourage people from foreign countries to visit Disney. And that person bought all the tickets on this foreign deal. That's how he got the price.
You realize that's most likely bullshit, right? Most likely. I'm not saying certainly, but
I just have to put it on the record. That's all.
Okay. All right.
So any takeaways from the Gus Disney? He's having a hell of a time. Good for him. Like he works hard, and they've already got next year's trip planned. So any thoughts on Gus?
I have no judgment of Gus at all because he's got the perfect temperament for that. But as I said on the show the other day, like to me, that's a punishment. If you, whether it's my family, someone else's family, whatever, if you're like, hey, we're gathering up the family, we're going to Disney for 2 weeks and we're going to theme parks every day. That's genuine suicide material. Like I would be on the brink. I don't know what I would do. That's torture. But Gus has a good temperament. Like I was in the car with him for however long that drive was, 20 hours there and 20 hours back, give or take. And he never showed signs of snapping or he had the best attitude of any of us. So God bless him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything like Gus like wouldn't enjoy, like any activity? Like
time with Montante, it seems.
Oh yeah, that's a strange.
Just that.
Well, go ahead, Freddy.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't really have anything. Go.
No, that's okay. Neither did I. We'll wrap up here shortly. I know it's been a long night. Thank you both for joining. This Dave bit. This guy's on Reddit. He said to Montante when he was in, I think it was last week, I forget which day, Montante, get off the internet chatter. Meanwhile, Dave was commenting in Reddit the day before. He's in Reddit all day, every day. It's like kind of weird that
that's actually him.
Yeah, it's his name.
Yes.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, would he make it his name?
It's Mike. I'm a fact checker. It's definitely him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So like all this to just say, like, Dave, get off Reddit. Like, what are you doing?
I agree with that sentiment. I can't imagine any good could come from it. So.
And he's in there arguing with minifans about like their perception of what he said and how he said it. And,
no, he's not.
Like, yes, he is, Mike.
It goes all the way back to 2019. The same account. I've gone down this rabbit hole.
I don't believe any of these Cullinane facts you're telling me today, but they're giving me, they're really tickling me.
Yeah, so Dave, get off Reddit. Mutt, big timing Hogdale, costing him a trip to the Breeders' Cup, which would be his Super Bowl, like his dream.
It's ruining his career. Like it almost cost him a Red Sox podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he's lucky that he got the job when he should have taken it a year ago, and sort of did that whole thing. But yeah, like the Mutt 2 thing, like him not responding to DMs. I guarantee there's hundreds of people that he hasn't responded to.
I was an early victim of this.
Oh yeah,
I am a recent victim of this.
Mutt messaged me just a few weeks ago and was because I texted him or messaged him on Twitter, and just said congratulations when he got the job. And he's like, "You don't have my phone number?" I've had it for years. He's never once responded to me.
Mike, I thought you were going to say the when you asked him on your podcast. Like,
get back to me at the All-Star break.
How's your October look?
Yeah, right.
All right, we'll wrap it up here. Is there anything that we didn't talk about yet tonight that you wanted to mention or bring up, or sort of open forum? I know we're running late, and again, thank you guys for joining. But any final takeaways or any final thoughts?
I think I'm good. Just thank you for having me. Here's my final takeaways. I appreciate Freddy Lynn running this with an iron fist. Like, there is no nonsense on this show, and I do appreciate that.
Well, someone's got to do it. Penners, what do you got?
I just want to say I have a statement that I wrote that I'd like to read. Justice for Kate. We cannot let that tyrant Dave Cullinane control us, threaten us, or besmirch us any longer. On Monday, you represent all the minifans in your battle against the tyrannical rule of Dave Cullinane and Nurse Kim. I speak for the Miniverse when I say #Justice for Kate. I don't really know what that means, but I wrote it and it sounds good. So, I'm supporting Kate.
Hey, that's fair. Your voice has been heard. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate you guys joining, and stay tuned. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody. Good night.